In the next two examples, you're going to see the formula work in a similar way to how we use the simple interest formula. You'll remember me saying that the simple interest formula has 4 variables: the I, the P, the R and the N, and in fact we can use that formula to find any one of those. The same applies to our future value is equal to present value 1 plus R to the N. There are 4 variables, 4 different things in this formula, and while future value is the subject of the formula, and we find the questions very easy that ask us to find the future value because we're just substituting into this calculation, we could also use that same formula to find any one of those other 3. So in this question it says, what present value? So it's actually telling us that we have to find the present value. Now you can see that that is not the subject. In order to do this sort of question, we will need to create an equation where present value is the only unknown, and then we will solve the equation. Must be invested for 8 years. N is equal to 8 years at R is equal to 4.85% per annum, compounded quarterly. Now, how many quarters would be in 8 years? There would be 32, because a quarter of a year, there are 4 quarters in 1 year. And now this rate has to go to a decimal, but it has to be divided by 4 so that it's a rate per quarter. And that will be 0.012 and 1 and 25, is it? I'll just check that. And to grow to a future value, so we know that the future value is 15,000. So writing the formula, subbing the values into the appropriate spots, we've got 15,000 is our unknown, 1.012125 to the 32. We want to get that PV by itself, which means we need to divide this side, divide by this term, and if we divide by this term here, then we must divide by that exact same term on the other side, which is this calculation. Go to your calculator and it looks like this. And you can see it's 10,199.95806, which you would round to $10,199.96. We'd be happy with that answer because we know it wants, we would put in less than what it amounts to, was going to have a future value of 15,000. So we're expecting to put less than 15,000, which is the answer that we got. In example 6, we're told that 16,000 is invested for 6 years. It grew to a future value of 21,440. If the interest was compounded annually, find the interest rate. Let's go back to the beginning. So it's telling us that P is equal to 16,000, N is equal to 6 years, the future value is 21,440, and it is find R. When we sub into the formula and do some simplifying, then to undo to the power 6, we want to take the 6th root, and when you do that on your calculator you get this value, which is equal to 1 plus R. Subtract 1 from that, you get R is this value. We know that's the decimal, and to go back to the percentage we would multiply by 100, and it's giving 4.9987. When we round that off, we'll get 5.0. you should be right now to complete your summary and key points for this exercise.